Hi! Apologies, this video was supposed to go up a lot sooner than now, but as always life seems to get in the way. After the dust has kind of settled after A-levels and GCSE results days, I kind of been thinking about like how I felt 3 years ago. It doesn't feel like 3 years ago, it feels like, oh god, what's going on with my hair? Anyway, I kind of started thinking about how I felt 3 years ago when I had finished my A-levels. There's a mop in the corner, sorry. This is not the most picturesque place to start a video. And my little brother, well, not so little, he's 18, got his results and is looking to go to university now. And we kind of had a bit of a chat on results day, and I kind of had the same chat with him that I'm going to have with you guys because I thought it'd be quite useful, and I wish that someone had talked to me like this when I got my A-level results. So I'm going to make a brew, and then, that was really northern though, and then I'm going to sit down and give you the same spiel that I gave my little brother, and I hope that it will help some of you that maybe felt the way I felt when I got my A-level results. This feels like a very YouTuber-y thing to do, to be holding a mug of tea whilst talking to the camera. I think I've got this YouTube malarkey down to a fine art. Winning. So we're not going on a banding adventure today, sorry. Around this time 3 years ago, I kind of felt like I was having a bit of a personal crisis. That's a bit dramatic, maybe not a personal crisis, but I was panicking a little bit because everybody seemed to know around me what it was they were doing. I kind of felt through all of my last year of college, I had tutors and teachers asking me, so what do you want to do when you finish college? What do you want to do when you finish college? Which university are you going to? What course are you going to take? What job do you want? And I'm sat there going, I don't know. I don't know. And I kind of felt a bit bad that I didn't know. I kind of felt like I'm not going to be as successful as other people because I don't know what I want to do at 18. I'm here to tell you that that's fine. And the reason why I feel qualified to tell you this is that, you know, when you get those talks, those like career talks, like in high school or college, the options that you have when you finish your A-levels, so going to university, going and doing an apprenticeship, joining the army, going and getting a job, taking a gap year, yada yada yada. Apart from the army, I did all of the above. So I feel qualified to tell you that you do not have to take the straight to uni and into a job path if that isn't what's meant for you. So yeah, without any further ado, and to stop me from waffling on any further, because I will waffle for England, I'm currently doing it now. Number one, mate, you're young. Seriously. So you're 18, you don't know what you want to do for the next 40 odd years of your working life. I mean, the retirement age is just getting longer and longer, so if it's any consolation, you've now got more time than ever to figure out what you want to do with your life. Like, let me break it down to you as to why it's okay to not know what you want to do at 18. You're young. Did I say that already? You're young, okay? I'm 22 and I still feel pretty young, and I don't have 100% foolproof idea of what I want to do, and that is completely fine. At the end of the day, you've experienced very little of the working world, of the world in general, of your potential, of your skills. You're not necessarily experienced enough to make that decision. Some people know what they want to do from being 4, and that's fine. But to not have a firm idea at 18 is completely normal. Completely normal. Other than a paper round, or maybe a small part-time job, you've not experienced the working world. You don't know what career you might want. You don't know what career you might be good at. You've not necessarily done anything yet. You've kind of done your studying and you've worked hard at that and you've done whatever courses you decided to do. But in terms of what practical vocational skills you have, you might not be 100% sure of them. And again, that's fine. Just because the people around you might look like they know what they're doing, things do not stay the same forever. You are still, all of you are still very, very young, and what you may decide to do now, what your friends decide to do now, might not be what they decide to stick with. They might go to university and hate it. Now more than ever, the opportunities available to young people once finishing A-levels are probably the most vast that they ever have been. Rather than in sort of like my grandparents' age and potentially my parents' day, when they finished their O-levels or A-levels, it was kind of, if you wanted to be a doctor or a teacher, you went to university. If you wanted to do anything else, you went to work. Nowadays, a 1-year apprenticeship, you can do a 3-year apprenticeship, you can do an apprenticeship where the company pays for your degree in some circumstances. You can do an apprenticeship that gives you a qualification that is pretty much equivalent to doing a degree. You can do an apprenticeship that puts you in and a managerial role once you finish it. You can go to university and study 1,000,001 different courses, from Harry Potter studies to quantum physics. Not getting into your chosen university is not necessarily the most detrimental thing that's going to happen in your life. And I'm hoping my friend is going to be okay with me talking about this, but she is probably the best example. My friend did not get the grades that she needed to get into a #1 university, and she was gutted on the day. And I kind of wish that my 18-year-old friend could see where she is now at 21 at 18, if that makes sense. She went to another university and she had the best time there, and she got a first-class honours degree in biochemical science. She is qualified to do things that I don't even know the name of the procedure that she's doing. It's just too complicated for my little brain to understand. She's going and doing a master's in tropical medicine. I don't even know what tropical medicine is. If she went to her chosen university, she may not have made the amazing friends that she made at the university she was at. She might not have done as well. She went to like Uganda and had all these amazing opportunities from this university, and she's had like the best 3 years of her life there. And looking back, the grades that she needed at A-level now do not matter. Obviously, if you want to be a doctor, you have to go to university, because nobody wants like dodgy Dr. Dave with his penknife and the Dummy's Guide to Surgical Procedures taking your tonsils out. You kind of want someone who knows what they're doing to do that to you. But if you want to do something like in engineering or IT or administration or business or lots of different other sectors, there is an apprenticeship for that. The apprenticeships are beginning to increase in popularity now, because let's be honest, university is not becoming the cheapest option anymore. Sometimes going to university kind of makes you discover what it is that you want out of life. I went to university, I worked for a year, I worked as a teaching assistant. I enjoyed it until the November of the first term I was there, and I struggled with serious mental health issues, and I feel that was kind of the university's way of telling me that this maybe isn't for you and there's better things out there. I'll make another video on that story anyway, but long story short, I ended up dropping out. It wasn't for me, and I went and got an apprenticeship, and it was the best decision I ever made. I'm currently in my 2nd year of my apprenticeship and I'm loving it. I'm learning so many different things. I feel like I'm creative every day. I feel like I'm learning something new every day. I'm building on myself every day, and I'm working with a fantastic team, so I'm enjoying every day. I'm not kind of going into work and panicking and worrying, and for the first time in my life I'm actually enjoying what I'm doing, which is great. So yeah, university wasn't for me. It was for my friends, but it wasn't for me. Kind of a little bit of a pet peeve of mine, but it annoys me because I feel like it's misleading young people to thinking that it's okay not to try. I noticed on results day that people were posting these kind of messages all with good faith, but the kind of message that they were sending out is a bit misleading. So they're talking about people like Richard Branson, Alan Sugar, Steve Jobs, who all failed their exams. They went on to develop these massive brands. Like Richard Branson set up a small record company when he was 21 that has now flourished into an airline, multiple airlines actually, TV and broadband, I don't even know what you call it, TV broadband provider, that was the word. Steve Jobs founded a multi-billion, billion, very expensive company that everybody buys from, still to this day everybody buys from. I am filming on his invention. I am filming on an iPhone. Thank you, Steve Jobs. Alan Sugar built up a company that at its peak was a multi-billion pound company. Do you know what all these people have in common? Other than failing their exams, they were all proactive. None of them sat at home on their Xbox, eating a Mackey's, complaining that they got a D in English literature because they didn't study because they were too busy going out drinking tequila. They didn't sit around going, well, I'm not good at anything because I failed my A-levels, or I'm just not going to try anything. What those messages are trying to say on Facebook about Richard Branson and Alan Sugar and all those people, what those messages really mean is that your A-levels and exams in general don't define you, because they literally only test a very small amount of your potential. Just FYI, what you were good and bad at school, completely irrelevant in adulthood. My worst 2 subjects were maths and art. The main components of my full-time job, maths and art. The main components of the business I'm currently setting up, maths, art. Doesn't matter. The older you get, the more you practice things, the more you develop yourself, the better you get at things. My tea's gone cold. And lastly, it doesn't have to be a straight path between A and B, with A being the beginning of your career and B being your retirement. Just as long as you get from A to B, it can be as squiggly and as swirly and as untidy as you want. It doesn't matter, as long as you're making decisions that get you from A to B. So you might go to university and do 3 years at university and use those skills to do something that maybe your university degree isn't really related to. I know people that have gone and done music degrees and then gone and become paramedics. People say, well, why did they waste so much time doing a music degree? Well, clearly they've learned stuff in that music degree, no matter what they've learned, and they're applying it to something else, and that's fine. You might do what I did, get a job, go to university, drop out of university and go to an apprenticeship. I turned out fine and my prospects for the future are pretty good. So am I worried? No. Should 18-year-old me have been worried? No. If you're still worried, please trust me when I say that your path does not have to be straight and conventional. It doesn't have to be what everybody else is doing, as long as you're making decisions that are right for you right now. So maybe in the future I will go and do a degree that will further my knowledge, and I don't need to do it right now. And at 18, if I knew what I was doing now, I mean, I run a blog that I thoroughly enjoy doing. I have a Cornish student that I teach every week that I never thought I'd have. I was involved in an amazing workshop last weekend with loads of young students, and as a girl that went and joined youth bands and did youth workshops, watching those teachers that taught me, I used to sit there and go, I'd never be asked to do something like that. I'd never be good enough. And now I'm doing it. I'm writing about something that I love. I'm making YouTube videos about stuff that I love. And somebody told me what I'd be doing at 21 when I was 18. I would never have believed them. And I'm doing it. And just have faith in yourself at 18. Just, if you're 18, you don't know what you want to do, have faith in yourself. Take opportunities when they come to you. Make those decisions that are right for you and don't stress about it. You're young. If you were 92 and making this decision at 92, I would be saying the clock's ticking. Get a move on. You're 18, you got time. I wish you the best of luck with whatever you decide to do in the future, whether you decide to go to uni or not, or you decide to join the circus, whatever makes you happy. And I'm living proof that your path does not need to be conventional to be successful. You can still gain a hell of a lot of success through not doing the straight and narrow thing, because that's boring anyway.